Hello and welcome to Caching Waves. This is a update on HFT. If you haven't watched my previous video, I go over the daily count here, how I got my original entry. I'll leave a link at the end screen and also in the description if you want to go over the larger term view here. But at the moment in this trade, as you can see here, HFT in 27.50 long. Stop loss currently at 3113. I'm going to make some adjustments to that in this video. But at the moment, I have a few different options here for the count. I'll show you how I'm going to try and leverage up on that to get a larger position size. Now for the channel, I have a $10,000 account just for purposes of the channel. And this was, I think, my first or second trade I took. And we're going to go look at the micro time frames to see if we can get better entries here and leverage up. So it was a really tough count, if you remember. If you haven't watched that video, take a look. But I have this potentially as a 1-2, 1-2 with a flat. It's a very tough count. You can also count it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ending diagonal here. And this is our first one. This is potentially our 2 or still in the middle of a wave 2. Like so. This could be all the 1 and we're in the middle of a wave 2 where we get stopped out before our third wave up. But since we're holding support here and we keep pushing to the upside, I'm leaning into this for trading purposes as the 1-2, 1-2. And if this trade gets stopped out, I would come back and look at this potential 1-2 here, just because the market's pretty bullish at the moment and I don't want to avoid trading just because I'm afraid of this scenario. So zooming down even more, if this is our bottom 1-2, this was my original 1-2 just because it was the deepest retracement I could find. It fits as a leading diagonal, and this fits as a 1-2 with an extendedly long flat. We make a higher wave for our B wave. C wave protects the low, and we're looking to continue to the upside. Now, if we do get this very bullish wave up to around 83 cents, this was my proposed wave 2. We are looking for this. I believe this was our entry around here. We were looking for this to take off to the upside. Didn't get that, so we have to take a look at what else could be happening here. This could be an ABC complete, and we're actually making that larger wave 2 coming down to the downside, which is totally an option. No reason that can't happen. So that's the option if we get stopped out here. Other option is this turns into a leading diagonal as our 1-2, and then we go. Other option is we have another flat where this is our 1 and we got an A, B, C. I'm going to be using this for trading purposes, just so I can leverage up in this trade. If I raise my stop up, I can get a little more position size. So I'm playing that as a 1-2, 1-2, third 1-2. Like so. Now, zooming out, whenever we adjust our trades here to get bigger leverage, the one thing you have to keep in mind when making your trading decisions, and I always go through these options myself, is if I say this is a 1-2, 1-2, with a flat in between, then especially a running flat where we make a higher high and a higher low, then this wave here has to be protected, right? So we can't break this low. If I say this is a running flat, that we have to protect this low. So I can move my stop up to that area. The only purposes I'm doing that is to leverage up. I need to be very clear on that. That's my only purpose. If I'm not leveraging up, I'm leaving my stop down here, and I leave it open to have a expanded flat, right, where we can have our ending diagonal. So by raising my stop to this level, I'm limiting my options to what the correction can be. So when I make my decision, I'm aware of that I'm limiting my options to what this correction can be. And if that does happen, I am okay with that as long as we reclaim, retest, and go. And I would look for another entry if I got stopped out in this area with my original stop. I'm only doing this to leverage up. I just want to make that very clear. Just the reason our stop is here, we're saying this is the wave 2, and we're saying we're not getting that for trading purposes. We're saying this is a 1-2, 1-2, and this is not the leading diagonal where the 1 was here, and we're getting something like this before we go. It's the whole purpose of our stops, limiting the amount of corrections available. So that being said, I'm going to raise my stop up to here. This could also be a 1-2, 1-2. I just like the flat better. I was checking out the fibs here. Our minimum requirement for a ABC to the upside is the 618, so this could be an ABC, and we just collapse down from here. That is possible, like we mentioned, for that larger 1-2. That's also the minimum requirement for, or not the minimum requirement, where I like to see a second 1-2, if this is a 1-2, 1-2 to the 618, making a higher high. So the 1-2, 1-2 option there is there, but the reason I like it as a flat is this looks impulsive. This looks like an ending diagonal potentially here, or a 3-wave pattern. It's hard to tell, obviously, on the really low time frames. But I use my fibs to make this decision because this is an ABC as a running flat. We came to the 1-to-1, as you can see right here, the 1-to-1. So I have that as a running flat. Or this can even turn into a triangle, obviously. But so what I'm going to do for trading purposes, I'm going to go back to MEXC here. That's that same area. Again, I'm saying this is a 1-2, 1-2, or this is a 1 ABC running flat. In both scenarios, this low must be protected for those two scenarios. But by moving my stop to here, I am saying the expanded flat is not allowed to happen. Can't happen. Okay, so we have our stop. Let me come back to the main screen. I want to leverage up here. I'm going to add to this position pretty much right now. Where is HFT? I'm going to move my stop one tick below that level, which is 3317. So go 3316. 3316. So if I lose this position, I want you to see this because I'm going to add this amount of position size to my risk. 43. Just going to grab my calculator, and I'll be going to my trading calculator in a moment. I had originally $100 risk. That's 1% of the 10,000 account. I can lose 43,715 here. So that's my available risk now. So I'm going to update that stop to that level, as you can see. And I'll go off current price, and I'm just going to market order here just to get in here. So I added to my calculator a manual risk, and I can risk 56, we'll call it 5680. Just round it off there, 5680. This is my manual risk. This is my manual position size because I'm not risking $100 on that original trade anymore. I'm only risking that $43. So my new entry would be around 35. So you can see 35.3. I'm just rounding these numbers to make it simple. My stop is at 0.3316, one tick below. My target's still 83 cents. And this is my manual position size I can add. As you can see, I'm pretty much doubling my original position size of 27.50. So I'm going to market buy right now 26.54. And that's coins, not the amount. 26.54. So we'll market 26.54. And we'll put our stop loss as that same stop loss, which is 0.3316, as you can see, around 56 bucks. And we'll market long that, and we'll put our take profit there at 83 cents too. So we've just doubled our position size, and our risk has not changed. As you can see, we now have 5,400. So there we go. I'm going to mark that in my trade journal as a new trade, and I'll update this stop, and it'll be on there for the next video. So going back to the chart, again, have this as, let me go back to KuCoin for tracking purposes. This can be a lot of things. As you can see, this could be a leading diagonal. And if we do start to get a leading diagonal, I will update that. I'm going to put trend lines on here. It's not the greatest shape for an ending diagonal. Usually you'd expect it to hold this trend line here. Doesn't mean it can't be. It just means it's not my primary. That's a leading diagonal. I have this as a 1-2, 1-2, or a 1-2 with a running flat. All right, guys, so that's my update on Hashflow. Check out my other videos on these trade setups if you want to follow along with what I am doing. I'm currently in H-bar long, up about 220 at the moment. HFT long, break even. You saw me double my position size. Reason for that is I will make twice as much the risk reward now that I've tightened up that stop and doubled the position size. And I'm also in RSS3. I'm going to do an update video on that one as well. All right, guys, so that's it for Hashflow HFT. Check out my last video if you want. I'll post it at the end here for HFT for the larger view counts. And check out MEXC in the description if you want to support the channel. All right, guys, thanks for watching.